Hello there and welcome back to Sam's on Wrestling. I am Baby Sam and this is a slightly older Sam. And this is Countdown.
Count out!
Yeah, Countdown, I knew that.
This is like the episode of Friends. And that is a shutdown. Shut out!
It's a count out.
It's count out, like a referee
No, I
counting out
understand what you've
with
done.
10.
Yeah, and
It's not rocket science.
I'm pretty stupid. But this is a count out. It's our top 10 list. I'm sorry, Sam. I'm failing you every day. But this is our top 10 favourite championship belt designs. It can be from any promotion, any area we want. And this is our top 10. It's not the top 10. We're not trying to say what is the objective. It's subjective for everyone. And these are our personal favourites. So, on that basis.
What are yours?
Yes.
What are yours?
What are yours? I mean, you can't talk to us, but you can
like, share,
communicate via
do it in the comments. What's your favourite belts?
Yeah.
Top 10.
Yeah.
While liking and ringing the bell.
Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding. There's no belt with a bell on it.
There's a what?
There's no belt with a bell on it. Could you imagine if you had a belt and it went ding, ding, ding?
The belts on it.
Ding, ding, ding.
That'd be pretty cool. We need to talk to YouTube about that.
And before we even get started, we have no belts from Japan, I'm pretty certain.
Yeah.
We don't watch a lot of Japanese wrestling, but I can tell you right now, every time I do see a Japanese belt, I do go, nice.
Looks awesome, doesn't
That's
it?
a nice, pretty belt.
But we just don't really associate them with.
I don't
really
think of them.
watch
So when I
Japan.
made my 10, it was like, I don't want to have to be researching to decide if I like a belt more.
Mm.
But I'm going to tell you this now. If I watched New Japan and all that stuff, especially the old one, I know some of their new ones are a bit, but I probably would have them on the list. So if you're a massive New Japan fan, please write them down as well, like your Japanese belts, because they are great.
So we come to numero 10. And Sam, what have you got at number 10?
I've got an NXT belt, Sam.
That's fair.
I've got the North American Championship. It's at 10 because I actually don't think it's as good as everyone says it is. Let me just say that now. But it was the first belt for a long time that looked nice. WWE have just ruined belt designs for a long time. Thankfully, they're trying to go back now to some nicer belts. I like actually the majority of the belts they kind of have on the roster now. I think they're fine or do their job or are pretty. But from the minute the spinner belt turned up to when they started having pennies and all that jazz, there was some really bad belts. This is pretty. I like the strap. I like that it represents it. I like that it's a design. You know what it is. I think it's individual. And that's the key to me. I like this belt. I think it's really cool.
I think that's fair. It's not on my list, but I did consider it. I do like it. It's just, I don't know, the red strap was a bit... To me.
I like it.
I think it's good. I think it's
I like
really
the
good
maroon.
It's just not quite in my number 10. My number 10 is something I don't think you'll have.
No.
It's The Rock's People's Championship that he had at WrestleMania 40.
Oh, the WrestleMania one, right.
I really like it, that Muhammad Ali gave it to. I just think it always... maybe it's because The Rock's carrying it.
He obviously used to... he was meant to have one. Yeah, they made the Smoke and Skull one. They actually made a Brahma Bull one.
Oh, yeah.
They just never had it.
Yeah.
So this is effectively going... Do you remember that belt we were going to make 27 years ago?
I just really liked
Here
it.
it
It was like quite a retro design.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Even when he was holding it next to Roman Reigns, when Roman Reigns had the belt, I just thought Rock's looked better.
Yeah, that big WWE Championship belt is the weakest modern belt.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's a marketing thing.
No, I
because they hand that belt to everybody.
Yeah. So yeah, The Rock's for me. I really, really like it, and I really want to see it again when he's back.
A ladder match. The Raw SmackDown tag titles and the SmackDown on either one, but it's the WWE Championship and the Brahma Bull one. Which one are you going to bring down first? Which one are you going to grab first?
Yeah. So number 9. Now I don't think you'll have mine whatsoever, and I think you'll disagree with mine. But
you won't have mine.
You
won't have mine. You don't watch TNA. I have the. Now you're gonna have to see the picture for this because there's a lot of these. I've got the TNA World Championship, and there's one that kind of have TNA like sort of a blue sort of design. Didn't have it for long. People like I remember Bobby Roode having it, and people like that. I like this belt. It's a really lovely belt because TNA had some very average world titles. They used, they had just a normal kind of bland belt. They also had the not the NWA. No, it was the NWA. Whatever it was. The NWA titles were for a long time. Meh. This belt, I thought, was the first time I went, that looks like something I want to win. And some people looked amazing on it. I've just always really liked this belt. I like blue. You'll notice I like blue on a belt, it turns out. But I like this belt.
And I have gone with, you're not going to like this, but the probably late to mid 2000s IC title belt that was on
the oval.
It was the one, the black strap.
Oh,
Um,
Cody's.
No, because Cody won that and then changed it, so it is that one actually. Yeah.
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 So you're talking about the IC title from the 90s is what you're talking about.
Am I?
Yes.
No. It's not the white strap that Cody had.
No.
Yeah.
The belt design is the one from the 90s,
Yeah.
and they just changed the colour behind it. It's the same
Yeah,
belt.
pretty
So
much.
what you're actually saying is, I like the Intercontinental title when they made nice belts,
Pretty much.
and then Cody brought it back.
No. So Cody brought back the white strap.
I know it's white, but it just meant they had to...
No, so I'm talking about it's a different type of belt. It's the one that Umaga held, and it's like that kind of like 2009 one.
Umaga had the oval one from the Attitude Era.
I can't. No, right. You'll find a picture of it. Editor Sam put a picture of the belt on.
Here's him with the Attitude Era oval one in his mouth. There you go.
There you go.
He is
I really like it. You don't like it. I don't even know if we're thinking of the same ones, but I know what I'm thinking of. It's not even a good belt. It's just really nostalgic for me. It was also on the
Sam,
SmackDown vs. Raw.
Future Baby Sam. Hi.
Sure. Hello.
Could you send me a picture of what you want, and I shall put it now here where the picture normally goes? Because at the moment, there's a question mark. So, and Sam's going to send me this photo, 3, 2, 1. This is the one he actually means.
Yes.
Now, I think he's thinking of either the oval one, because that's what Umaga had, or he's actually thinking of this one that Brett and Mr. Perfect had, and now has a white background.
Okay, so we move on to number 8, and I don't know why Sam's already got his head in his hands.
I have the Cody Rhodes IC title belt with the white background. Not the one from the 90s, the one that Cody Rhodes reintroduced with the white background, because it's really nice and I like the pretty, and I think white is really nice on the title belt, and I don't want to talk about it any further because we've already had an argument about it. Sam, you're number 8.
My number 8 is... Let me move swiftly. Might come back up later. It's the AEW Championship.
Yeah, it's a
I've
beautiful
gone with.
title.
I love it. Maybe a bit big, but I love it. It's a fantastic title design in it, and it came at a time where there were no good title designs
Zero.
at all. I really like it. It's sparkly and it's gold.
I'm going to talk about it later.
Go on.
But only because I want to talk about one specific thing.
Okay, so now we are moving on to number 7. Sam, what's your 7th?
This will be on no one's list. This is mine. I like these. And somebody else must have kind of liked them. Because they are the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. The original ones from 2002.
Okay.
The one... Yes, I know. They were kind of... Because they had the other tag team titles that were kind of like dull silver. Because it wasn't gold. And then they kind of made them gold. Then they changed them to a design. I'm talking about the original tag titles. These were like bright gold with blue as the tag. I like blue. Blue. I like tags. I just thought they looked really nice as tag team belts. And the minute that they changed them to the pennies, I was so disappointed because they just looked like really good tag team belts. And remember when they unified them? That was still the title belt. They had them for a long time. And then the new titles that they brought back, the SmackDown ones, are kind of almost like a combination of those and the old world tag team title belts. No one else is going to have them. I really like them because I was there when they were introduced, and the matches that were being produced in that opening 2 years as well might be why I liked it, because every match I was excited for. Let me just run down some of these matches quickly for you. We had Angle, Benoit, and Ray and Eddie.
Yeah.
Ray and Edge. Then we had the triple threat tag at Survivor Series. Then we had the world's greatest tag team turn up, had a ladder match against Eddie Guerrero and Tajiri. One of the best ladder matches I've seen at that point. There was the triple threat tag at WrestleMania 19. These matches were just flying, and this belt felt really important. I like this design as well. I think it looked pretty.
No, I absolutely
blue.
agree. I thought about them as well. I really like those as well, so I don't think you're alone in that. I really enjoyed those. I've gone with a controversial one.
Okay.
I've gone with a Hardcore Championship.
Right.
I love the Hardcore Championship. It's really different. And it suits exactly what that division is. It tells you exactly the type of wrestling that championship basically has. And I think that's really important. And it's just different. And I think it's a really fun belt as well. It's really creative. What do you think about the Hardcore?
I agree with everything you just said.
Oh.
I agree with your entire sentiment.
I'll take that. So number 6, I've gone with the current WWE Tag Team Championship.
Oh, the ones that were won by SmackDown.
Yes, that they gave to Theory and
the one that Theory and Waller won first, right?
Yes.
Cool. Right. Those ones.
I think those belts,
Great.
In 5 or 10 years, they're going to be looked at with
reverence.
Yes, they design-wise are
Compared
fantastic.
to the Raw ones that
Yeah.
are awful.
Yeah.
Like, that was the one bad new design that's come out that you just went, nah.
I saw what they were going for.
Better than the pennies, but
Yeah.
you went...
I saw what they were going for, but yeah, the SmackDown ones
Pretty.
are brilliant. And I think if you put those, if those were the belts that Edge and Christian and the Hardys and the Dudleys were fighting for,
Yes.
they would be
They'd be
probably
happy.
thought of as the best tag team belts of all time.
They are up there with the World Tag
They
Team
just
titles,
haven't
they
had a
really
lot
are.
of lore yet and a lot of history.
They might eventually end up on mine, because I didn't like
Yeah.
the old World Tag title belts, and these just feel like a step above them as well, because there's a little
They're
bit more
so
intricate.
clean, but there is intricacy in detail, and
Yeah.
they look prestigious.
I like them.
I think they're fantastic.
Yeah, I
I'd be
do.
buzzing if I was Theory and Waller and I won those.
Yeah, and they were.
Fantastic, yeah.
and they were.
There you go.
My number 6, I'm back to NXT.
Okay.
I've got the original NXT belt. The one that was just an enormous X.
Okay.
Again, I feel like I'm the only one. I like that. You knew exactly what you were winning. You knew what you were winning. And I actually thought, because it was an X, and because the X came out, it wasn't a circle with an X on it, which is what became the NXT title, which I think is the dullest looking title. Thanks, Paige. It's the dullest looking title. But that X, it looked good on people. It looked good, especially on people who were slightly smaller. I thought Seth Rollins looked amazing with it. I thought Bo Dallas looked great with it. You know, and he didn't look like he does now. I love that design of just one giant X in gold. And it made, again, so different what was happening in WWE at the time. And these were this new brand. It was almost like AEW Light at first. That I loved that title belt. And I actually miss it. I thought that really made them feel different. And it looked cool. It's the giant X. It looks like something that ECW would have had as a title if they had money.
Yes.
Because all they did was just steal belts and put the word ECW on them.
No, I get that. I wouldn't have put it on mine, but it's not quite to my taste, but I do entirely understand what you're
You notice
saying.
I like different.
Yeah.
It's clearly a trend. I like different.
So we have our top 5 now. What is your number 5 favourite championship belt, Sam? What have you gone with?
It's the hardcore title, Sam.
Oh, there we go. Great minds think alike.
That's why I didn't say anything. I like belts that are different and individual. You are absolutely right. It's exactly what it needed to be. It's everything the 24/7 title couldn't be.
That is a terrible belt design.
It's
That
the
is
worst.
horrible.
When we do top 10 worst belts, I'm sure we'll both have it. But that hardcore belt, did you want to win it? No.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if they carried that around the airport?
Yeah.
Oh, God's sake, it probably fell apart.
Someone's vandalised his belt.
But you know what? It's exactly what it's the perfect representative of the Attitude Era, and I'm glad they got rid of it in the Ruthless Aggression because it didn't fit anymore. But just the fact that it looks like an old WWF Championship. We thought it was the one that Mr. Perfect destroyed, but it's not. That's the rumor. It's not. But it looks like someone's pieced it together, kind of like the hardcore division was just randomly pieced together. I love this belt. I think if you said, do you remember this belt, and you took the names off it, everyone would just go, the hardcore belt. I reckon if you took names off loads of belts, people would go, tag team. This one, hardcore, immediately. I love that belt. I want to win. I would want to win it. I think it looks cool.
I wouldn't, because then someone would attack me from behind. Just destroy me with the chair 24/7.
No. I'm pre-Crash Holly. I'm pre-Crash Holly. I'm pre-Crash.
So my number 5 is the WWF title when, I remember it was X7, it was like 2000.
Oh, the Attitude Era one.
That belt, I love that belt. It has a bit blue on it as well.
I think it's called Big Eagle or something like that. It's its official name. It's got an eagle on it. I think. It's something like that. I can't remember the name. I don't like names.
It's not quite. It's maybe clean as some of the other ones, but maybe it's the era of it. You're talking Stone Cold, The Rock, Triple H, Angle in the prime fighting for it. I think it's a lovely, lovely belt. It looks like a top title. So I just think it's awesome. I don't really have that much to say on it. I've gone number 5.
Yeah, fair enough.
So number 4, Sam's already crossed me because he's peeked at my list. He doesn't like it.
You just say it.
Yep, I've gone with. I put the Miz. I see. That's what I associate.
That's the Cody Rhodes one.
Oh, but the Miz made it.
But it's the Cody Rhodes. It's the white strap belt. But you've already talked about a white strap one from earlier.
I'd be allowed to finish my point.
No, because I think you're an idiot. I think you put the same belt on twice.
Again. No, it's not the same belt. I've just said that. Right, the one that Cody Rhodes won, and he replaced it with this one. That was my number 9. This belt that the Miz had, the white strap with that kind of old-fashioned design on it. I love that IC belt, and I'm furious that they replaced it with the current one that just is meh.
I don't mind the new one. No. I don't like it. I don't mind it because at least it looks different, but it looks vacant. Like there's no individuality to it, but at
Personality.
least it's personality. But at least it's not the same as other ones. At least you know or might potentially recognize it. But and Gunther had it for so long that I kind of got warmed it. But I'm the same as you. It doesn't look like it was designed by a real belt designer. It looks like it was designed on a creative belt on one of the SmackDown games.
Yes.
That's what it looks like. Anyway, we're doing our best.
Yeah, and this is similar to the hardcore for me in terms of it represents what that division should be about. It's graceful. It's it's gorgeous. It's really good looking, and IC division for me should be great technical wrestlers, fantastic, really good, solid matches, and you want to hold that.
I think Mr. Perfect when I think of the Intercontinental.
Exactly, and it harkened back to that, and the Miz and Ziggler really elevated that again, and that's really
they had a main event.
time.
They had a main event feud with them.
Yeah, it was fantastic, and it was treated with respect.
My number 4 is also the Intercontinental Championship, but I've got the oval one from the Attitude Era.
Right.
I love that belt because how many of the belts look with that shape? Just an oval belt. And I think most people will flick to this belt because it transcended 2 generations. It was the Attitude Era and the Ruthless Aggression Era. So you had all the kids who were coming in at the end of the Attitude Era, joining the Ruthless Aggression, had that as their Intercontinental title, and you had obviously everyone in the Attitude Era, they had that as their Intercontinental title for a long time. So that's the representation. And I looked at that and there were so many good matches that were representative of it, but I think the oval shape you could wear on shoulder. It looked great around the waist because it was more, truncated compared to other belts that sometimes are a bit too bulky or sometimes are just a circle. And I find circle a bit boring. I really like this belt. I actually think it's better than the original one in the 90s and the one that Cody do. Even though I would say that one's prettier and feels more worthy of the Intercontinental Championship, I actually agree with you. I just think this has something different about it, and it's very hard to distinguish why it was different. I love the oval one.
Okay, so now we are into the nitty-gritty. We move on to our top 3. Sam, what have you got as your 3rd place?
Depends where you quantify this. I've gone with Big Gold. The World Heavyweight Championship, the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. This belt is gorgeous. WWE were right to bring it in 2002 for the World Championship. It made it look as important as the WWE Championship at the time. In fact, I would argue that it was more important in the grand scheme of things. Triple H's Reign of Terror, he had to main event so many pay-per-views with it. But it's so pretty. It's intricate, and they kept it. They never changed it. And that's the art of analysing belt designs. WWE changed them so often. Stop it.
Yeah.
Get a great belt, and that's your belt.
Yeah.
Why do you need to change it? If it looks dated, fair enough. But there are so many belts that don't look dated. There's one I'm going to come to later that I personally think should have been kept forever.
Yeah.
This belt, WCW kept. Never changed it. And essentially, Triple H knows it's great because that's what the current World Championship belt is for the men's and the women's. But obviously the marketing team goes, we need a WWE symbol on it. But it's the same belt, effectively, just slightly smaller. But this belt, gorgeous.
It's so annoying that they didn't bring it back. I'm great. It's great that they brought back a World Heavyweight Championship. That's awesome. But if they'd have brought back this design, it would have made
history.
It so. Yeah, it's history. You want to see a current wrestler now holding the same belt that a Stone Cold held.
Yeah.
Because it's timeless, and it really brings home the fact that it is the same lineage, and it gives it that history. It's going to show up in mine in a moment. I've gone with the undisputed title that Lesnar mainly held. I think of Lesnar from 2003 to 2004. Eddie won it.
Turned up for the first time with Triple H, where they had the Attitude Era title, they had the WCW title that I like, and they created the undisputed title. It was then taken by Hogan, then Undertaker, then Rock, then it went to Brock. So it this title didn't have that Seth Rollins run to make it something.
I think of Brock. For me, when I think of that title.
Because then it went to Brock and he kept it.
Yeah. And then JBL was the last one to see the change.
He's the one who had it the longest.
Yeah. I love that championship. It's a gorgeous championship. I didn't get on for time. It didn't get long.
So I said, you're talking
2 or 3 years.
A couple of weeks after WrestleMania 18, left after WrestleMania 21.
Yeah.
So
and you think how long the spin about
pretty much exactly 3 years.
Yeah. I think it's amazing. The black, the gold design, the shape of it. It's not quite a circle. It's a bit of an oval. It's really nice. And could you imagine Lesnar holding the spinner belt? In comparison, him holding that undisputed title, it looked brilliant. So, my number 3. So now we are on to our number 2. Sam, what you got for us?
This is where I have the AEW World title.
Wow, okay.
I think this title is a step up from the big gold World Heavyweight Championship belt.
It's a big claim.
I really do think it's a big claim. I think it's the best thing AEW have ever done. And they've done some great things. I think this belt, whoever made it, because I think their other belts are just, I don't care about pretty much every other belt. I actually think every other belt they've got if you actually showed them in front of me, and took the names off, I think I would struggle to actually go which one's which for a lot of them, genuinely. There's also thousands of them, especially if you throw in ROH. But this belt is just gorgeous. AEW's logo also in these sort of things is very nice. WWE's a tacky logo. Yeah. AEW's a very pretty logo in letters, and that doesn't detract from it. And it's so beautifully designed. I love all these kind of, you don't even know what they are, but they're just all like little knobbly bobbly bits that all just make it so nice, like the world title has.
Detail.
It's detail. The reason I love this belt is, do you know who was the first one to kind of present it?
It was Bret Hart, wasn't it?
No.
Was it not?
It was Jack Whitehall with Bret Hart.
God, it was, wasn't it?
Do you remember Jack Whitehall?
What random appearance.
What was there? What did he do that for? But no, I really think in the modern era, this belt really, I think if AEW can get their act together and become a solid number 2 without doing stupid decisions, and actually stay the course forever and ever and actually have a WWE length run, let's say of 20 years, and they don't change this belt, if they do a WCW and keep this belt, I think this belt will go down as the greatest ever.
Wow.
I think it's that nice.
I love it, and I like the fact that the logo is in there, but it's just seamlessly ingrained. Where it's not just smacked on in front of the entire
like a sticker.
thing. Yeah,
literally. The WWE title, world title, the new one, looks like someone has stuck a WWE title.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of stickers, TNA, they were bought out once, or they joined Jeff Jarrett's new company, Global Force, and they became Global Force, and they put Global Force belt, but then Global Force left. They went back to TNA. Instead of getting the old TNA belts, they just took a TNA sticker and just stuck it over Global Force. And I've just got the idea of someone there and this sticker just slowly peeling off. But what makes it hilarious, they've stuck this big sticker on the front of it. Didn't do the side plates.
Oh.
So we got TNA. Global Force. I love TNA so much.
It's a TNA thing, isn't it?
I'm going to do an Educating Sam. And I might do TNA, and it might be a long episode, it might be a multi-parter, but I think you need to be educated on TNA.
I probably do. I don't know a lot about TNA.
Well, when we do pay-per-view reviews, it's going to be one of the first things we do is TNA. You need to experience TNA. What's your number 2, Sam?
It's Big Gold. World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah,
I just echo everything that you said. Not much needs to be said. I always associate it with Edge. Edge held it so many times, yeah. That's kind of my time.
That's an idea of a video I want to do is a word association, but a belt association or a weapon association, a pay-per-view association, a match association. Who do you think of when you think of ladder? Who's the what's the name that comes to your head? So when you think of the World Heavyweight Champion, we'll do a little prelude if you want. You do the World Heavyweight Champion, you go
Edge.
Goldberg.
Immediately. Oh, okay.
Immediately Goldberg.
Okay.
I just see Goldberg with that title.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fair.
Even in WWE.
So number 1, and I'm going to be surprised if this isn't your number 1 because it would mean it didn't make your top 10. But go on, Sam, what is your number 1? I think I know what it is.
Prepare to be surprised.
Oh, you okay?
You've already mentioned it. I think the best ever belt is the undisputed WWE belt, and that JBL had. I'm going to get to those in a minute. Trust me. It might even be we might even do it as a controversial episode, but let's talk positively first of all before I talk about what, because I know what your number 1 is. It's everyone's number 1. You'll also know there's another belt that's not been on my list either, in a very similar vein.
Which is?
I'll get to that in a second. But the undisputed title, everything you said, I'm going to use one word. It's classy. I think it looks classy. It's why it worked for JBL. John Cena with that spinner belt is the worst thing that ever happened. Not because it's the worst title ever. and it's stupid, and they didn't get rid of it when he lost the belt, which is the confusing bit, is that it replaced this belt after 3 years when it looked gorgeous. It's because it didn't have WWE in the middle of it, and that's when they started doing the marketing. They realised how many toys that sold, and they thought it was because they had WWE. It's like, no, it's because it spins and it's fun for little kids.
Yeah.
That belt was gorgeous. I really look at it and I just go, that's your big gold. That's your big gold, because the other belts that people are going to mention that they like didn't have the reverence that a big gold did. Didn't have the history that big gold did, I don't think. This one could have created it, and it just looks so classy, so pretty. You're absolutely right. It's not a full circle. It's not a full oval. It's kind of almost squished. It's almost like rectangle with an oval. So I love this belt, Sam.
As do I. But the number one, I've gone Winged Eagle, and I don't think it has to be everyone's number one, but it's not in your 10. Which
I don't like it.
You don't like it,
or the Attitude Era one. I don't like either. I'm gonna tell you this now as to why, because it's gonna be everyone's number one. There's no point even explaining why.
It just is the best for me.
I think both of them are really boring. I think the reason they are put on a pedestal is because that's where the majority of wrestling fans come from. They come from the Attitude Era and they come from the Golden Generation, and everyone always... I'll give you an example. I remember I was driving home from a job once, and with a guy who was a wrestler, and he said he started watching in 1994, 95, and I asked him, so what's the best generation? And he went, it's clearly the new generation. And I went, so you just do it because that's the thing that you watched. And that is the problem we have with tribalism and wrestling, and what I have a problem with lists. This is the prettiest belt. Why is it the prettiest belt? Because it's when I started watching wrestling. And it's like AEW is a better belt. The Undisputed was not tiled around when I was watching wrestling. It wasn't far off, so I do admit there's an element to that. But I just look at the Attitude Era one for a start, and it's just a circle with champion. I think that's... I don't even think the Eagle comes out that well. There's the earth in it. So I actually prefer that belt for a start to Wing Eagle. I think Wing Eagle looks cheap, and I think it's just a cool eagle. An eagle which is not associated with WWE in any way, shape, or form. They don't have it as a logo. Yeah, but why have an eagle then? It's really strange because they don't reference the eagle. It doesn't link to anything. I genuinely look at both belts and I just go, to it, and I think people care about it because it's the first thing they see.
Well, that's not true for me. My first one was a spinner belt.
No, yeah, you are thankfully someone. But I want to know: have you been Darren Brown into believing it's the number one?
No, I mean, well, okay. So number one's always going to be subjective. I could probably put my top three in any order. That'd be fine.
Yeah, same for mine.
I really could. I've gone with the Winged Eagle just because I think the reverence of it. You say the eagle's not associated with anything, but your number one has a globe on it, and that's not necessarily...
World.
Yeah, I know, but that's not necessarily in the WWE's logo or marketing.
It's in the name.
Yeah.
World Wrestling. I think we're going to end there because he's an absolute yours has got a globe in it for world champion in World Wrestling.
WWE Undisputed Champion. I just think the Winged Eagle is brilliant.
By the way, which combined the World Wrestling Federation Championship and the World Heavyweight Championship.
That might be a shoddy point, but that doesn't mean that you're right that the Winged Eagle shouldn't be in there.
No, I agree. It's my personal opinion. Yeah. And I will bring it up on a controversial topic one day, and we'll go into more detail. Tell me why you like it. Without using the word reverence.
It's got detail. And it's got really nice symmetry, and I like the shape of it as well.
It's a nice shape.
Yeah, the kind of the fact that the eagle protrudes a little bit as well. The colour scheme as well. It's got that bit of blue, which you like.
Yeah.
And I think it just looks... The shape of it, the size of it as well.
I always think sometimes with that belt, though, I always think a little bit cheap because I want the plate to be attached to the leather. And sometimes the leather, like the plate's there, and the leather would kind of like bend there, and the plate would stick out. Like it's like almost like it's peeling off, but it's not. It's just mainly attached in the middle. I just don't like it.
I think it looks gorgeous.
Anyway, this is what we're looking for. What is your top 10? What's missed out? Am I wrong? Probably. So, what's your top 10? Please let us know. What is your favourite top 10 belt designs? Have you got any from Japan? Let us know. Because if you can put a picture or show us a link, we would love to see them as well. Because we want to be able to go, yeah, that's a nice looking belt. That's a nice belt. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to, as I say, like, share and subscribe. And we will join you on our video screens, on your YouTube, on your tablet, on your iPad, whatever you're watching on, with Count Out another time.